How's it going, everybody? I've just pressed lots of buttons at once, so I need to check whether everything's working on my phone because that wasn't meant to happen. How are you? It's Sunday, the 10th of April, all day, and thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. We've got lots to go through today. My name's Cy Twining, and my hair's sticking up, so that's not good either. I'm so sorry. I'll be right with you. I just need to. Yeah, for some reason it said I was live on Twitter and Twitch and stuff that I never use. I'm in a different place, which was to get rid of that shadow, and it's right there, following me around the house. Look, right there. It's annoying me, but I will find the ideal spot to record it in. Hi, Jen. How are you? Thanks for joining us. Jen says, hi, so I hope you're having a fabulous day cooking Sunday dinner and hanging with you. Well, it's good of you to join us, Jen. It's always good to see, just as I'm logging in, there are people already watching or waiting for me, or not waiting for me necessarily, but queuing up to watch. So I appreciate it. And thanks for joining us. We've got a few things to go through. I had a little list here, and I had no idea, Chuck, you were from Southern California. So I went there once. I've been to San Jose. Is that Southern? I've been to San Jose and San Francisco, and I had a tour of LA by J.V. Collier. Drove me around Beverly Hills and so on for a day, and that was we saw some sights that day. That was something else. What have I got? This is the first and last time I'm going to use this setup because I'm sitting too far away and I can't see. But somewhere on my list of things to do, yes, there we go. It's right there. This is what we're going to cover in today's effort, which has not got off to a stellar start, has it really? So we're going to talk about Lakes of Pontchartrain, because why not? And let me tell you, well, I'm not going to tell you how many times it took me to try and spell Pontchartrain, but I think I've got it now. I believe that's right. We are going to give away a chapter of Door to Forever, the upcoming documentary. We're going to show you one chapter. You can help me pick which chapter in a minute. We've got some news on the 24-hour song project. We have some developments on that. And we have the picture lyric game. I need to find a better title than picture lyric game. It's not really doing it for me. But yes, some Daily Dose stuff and big news on the 24-hour song project. Well, actually, big news on all of it. Let me. Okay, how do I say this? So Daily Dose Day is 3 weeks out, and compose yourself, Simon. People are watching. It's been 4 years since I did one of these, and so I set a goal which I thought we could reach, $1,000. I don't like setting a goal, but you have to be able to set up on this platform, this Just Giving platform. You have to give them a goal to reach, I guess, for their stats. So I said $1,000. I think we could feasibly raise $1,000 in 24 hours on May the 1st. Chuck says my audio's cutting out. Someone else let me know if you're hearing the same. I don't know why that would be this awful setup. If it's my microphone, I'm going to unplug this one and talk into my laptop. But if it's messing up for other people, we have an unknown user who says it's all good. Thanks, unknown. We're good friends from a long time ago. It may just be you, Chuck. If anybody else is hearing that, then let me know and I'll see what I can do. If it's a problem this end, I'll see what I can do. So $1,000 is the goal for Daily Dose Day. Was. Because with 3 weeks to go, thanks to you guys and your unbelievable generosity, we haven't just already passed that goal. We've blown it away. So 3 weeks out, we've already raised nearly $1,500, which I can't even begin to tell you how thankful I am and how thankful the ALS Association are. I'm speaking with them regularly because of different plans we're making for the day. But thank you so much for your untold generosity up to now. Now, I've been doing some thinking. I need to be upfront with you about this. I have no compunction at all about raising that goal before the day, because I haven't really advertised the $1,000. I don't like to stop once I've reached $1,000, but I in no way want to diminish everybody's incredible generosity up to now, to not just for being so quick off the mark, but for donating, for surpassing and blowing away the goal. So I have amended that goal, and I don't take anything for granted, but I don't anticipate changing that again before the day. But I will advertise the goal far and wide on the day itself. But I cannot believe we're almost a month away, 3 weeks away from it. It's creeping up quickly, but we've already raised, well, it's $1,445 so far. Thank you, because I did not see that coming, which is why I put what I thought was a realistic but a challenging goal in $1,000. So thank you. We've managed that already. Now let's go a step higher. Rather, I don't want to rest on my laurels, because it's not for me, it's for the charity. So they're keeping an eye on the page as well. Like I say, I've been speaking with them, and they're grateful too. And you'll be hearing a lot more from them on the day and after the day as well. Chuck, let me know if you're still having problems hearing me. I guess if you are, you wouldn't have heard that. But if nobody else is having issues, then I'm slightly less concerned. But I hope you're back with us soon, Chuck, with an H. Wow, we've got quite a few watching us today. So yes, that's the kind of big news. Got some music for you, which I'm going to play now. Lakes of Pontchartrain. So I've been doing daily doses by request this past week. Chuck says you can hear 95% of me. 95% is nonsense. So I hope the 5%, I hope you can make use of it anyway, make sense of it. And that's what counts. Vic can hear us. Welcome, Vic. Another week without getting banned. Proud of you. That's my floorboards are creaking as well here. So I've been doing daily doses by request. So yesterday, for instance, AJ sometimes joins us on these calls. He requested Swing Street with Bobby Reed on it, which was a challenge, but I managed to find one. It's not necessarily a sax-driven song, but we managed to find that for him. And then Josh Paxton, whose name you may know, asked for Lakes of Pontchartrain. So Josh went to see Bruce last week in concert, took his wife. His wife is a folk musician, and they got to meet Bruce afterwards and got talking about their common interests in music, and Paul Brady and Lakes of Pontchartrain happened to be one of those. So you got it, AJ. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're well, and Chris also. Thank you. Glad you've got no audio issues sorted out, Chuck. So Josh and Bruce and Josh's wife got to talking about Lakes of Pontchartrain, and he asked me if I had a recording of Bruce playing that song, which I do. One of them is coming up in Daily Dose Day because it's on a concert. The other one I'm going to play for you now, it's from West Palm Beach in Florida. And as I'm playing it, have a think about why Bruce may have referred to this concert in particular in the years that followed. It's a solo show from West Palm Beach in Florida. So you're going to hear Lakes of Pontchartrain by Bruce, and have a think about what it was in this show that Bruce would reference in interviews and concerts in the years that followed. So here he is playing Lakes of Pontchartrain. I'll be back within a few minutes, guys.
I'm going to try to do a song now that I've never played before, but it's a song that I just heard on a record and I really like it. And so if I screw it up, well, at least I'm trying for you. And I'm reading the words. I might need my reading glasses. So I might stop in the middle. But just bear with me. It was on one bright March morning I bid New Orleans adieu. I took the road to Jacksontown, my fortune to renew. I cursed on foreign money, no credit could I gain, which filled me hard with longing for the lakes of Pontchartrain. When I stepped on board a railroad car beneath the morning sun, I rode the rails to evening and laid me down again. All strangers there, no friends to me, till a dark girl towards me came, and I fell in love with a Creole girl by the lakes of Pontchartrain. Well, I said, me pretty Creole girl, money here's no good, and if it were for the alligators, I'd sleep out in the woods. You're welcome here, kind stranger, our house is very plain. We never turn strangers out on the banks of a Pontchartrain. Well, she took me into Ramby's house. She treated me right well. Her hair upon her shoulders and jet black ringlets fell to try to paint her beauty. I'm sure to be in vain. So handsome was my Creole girl on the lakes of Pontchartrain. Well, I asked her if she'd marry me. She said this could never be, for she had got a lover and was out at sea. She said that she would wait for him, true she would remain, till he returned to his Creole girl, the lakes of Pontchartrain. Yes, so fare thee well, my bonny old girl, may never see you more, but I'll never forget your kindness and the cottage by the shore, and that each social gathering of flowing glass I'll drink, and I'll drink to health with Creole girl, the lakes of Pontchartrain.
There you go. That's Lakes of Pontchartrain. Did anybody hazard a guess why Bruce would refer back to that concert in the years that followed? You've probably heard him mention it. Can you think of why that might be, that particular solo concert? I'll give you that to think about for a second. AJ says, amazing how Bruce sounds pretty much the same now, all these years later. Vocally, yes. Stylistically, not so much. But yes, it's the same guy for sure. And agree with Jen also. Wow, I'm not familiar with Paul Brady. He's from these shores, but it's not. He's one of those artists that I guess I was switched on to through Bruce's music. So it was good to learn some more about him. And Josh Paxton, who asked for that, has contributed to a couple of our cover projects. He's done Harbor Lights and he's done The Way It Is. So I'm going to close out tonight with, I think I've got The Way It Is lined up for you. So the reason Bruce would talk about that concert in particular is there was a mosh pit. There was a fight at the show. It was between the taper and I guess his neighbor or somewhere nearby. I don't know whether I can't remember the story exactly. That whether his neighbor was talking, I think, or maybe the taper was being too invasive. I don't know. But yeah, they got into a fight, and there was Bruce commentating from the stage on this pull apart. You can't hear very much of it on the recording. I sort of played that for you too, but you could hear some shouting in the background for sure. But a good concert, and that was a great song. And thanks, Josh, for the suggestion. Okay, so one chapter from the upcoming doc. You get. I'm going to give you one chapter now. There are 31 of them. Somebody pick a number. Anyone pick a number between 1 and 31, and I will give you that chapter right now. In fact, it's I've been working on it for the last year or so it's good to finally be able to say, unless somebody spots a glaring error in whatever it is I'm going to play for you now, but it's good to be able to say it's finished. So we've got a couple of suggestions so far. Maybe I'll go halfway and split the difference between Chuck and Vic, since your names rhyme as well. I think that could dovetail quite nicely. I'll go for chapter 7 or somewhere around about. See what comes up. I don't know if I want to play the first one. I don't want to play the last one. It's not like don't know the plot, is it? But there are some things that you may learn as you go through. I hope you find it entertaining. Okay, I'm going to pick one at random and play you 5 minutes or so from the documentary. I've been crowing on about it for long enough, so I'll show you a chapter of it. I hope you enjoy it. I'm quite nervous. You might hate it. Hope you don't. So you're going for the early chapters amongst all of you. I'm going to pull one out of the folder and drag it across to this screen. So whatever you get, hope you like it. See you in 5 minutes. Bruce spent a year at the University of Richmond, what he called real college, and decided that was not for him, before 2 semesters at the Berklee College of Music near Boston. He'd often be found at Paul's Mall and the jazz workshop next to it. Finally, he wound up at the University of Miami, as did, at other times, Pat Metheny and Ben Folds. I had no fun in college, Bruce says. It was all about playing. I was totally consumed and practicing every day. Bruce graduated from Miami in 1977 with a minor in classical piano and a major in jazz piano, and headed back to Virginia, where at age 22 he started the Bruce Hornsby Band, with John Molo on drums, Phil McCusker or Peter Harris or Steve Watson on guitar, Bobby Hornsby on bass, and Ann Hornsby on percussion and vocals. They gradually began playing Bruce's own songs and developed a loyal local following. Kathy Moore at Whisper Concerts would book them into the Cave nightclub to play 5 nights a week on 17th Street in Virginia Beach. With tree stumps for tables, the venue was covered in textured concrete both inside and out, decked out to look like an actual cave. Bruce and the band would spend their time playing the Cave, the King's Head Inn, the Jolly Ox and Dylan's, playing their own songs along with covers of Steely Dan, the Doobie Brothers, Jackson Browne, Joni Mitchell and more. The bar regular at the Cave, on spotting the band arriving each night, would greet them with, "Here come the noisemakers." The Cave, later the Rocks, and then later the Cave again, closed its doors for the last time in June of 2019. On December 1st, 1978, the Doobie Brothers came to the Hampton Coliseum, and Bruce won himself a big fan. He took his drummer John Molo to the Sheraton Hotel with him to look for Michael McDonald, and found him in the lobby. "We are playing at the Jolly Ox tonight," Bruce told Michael, "and you should come and hear us." And he did. And he was instantly on board. He brought the whole band back the next night and even sat in with Bruce at a suddenly packed out Jolly Ox in Hampton. The next night, the Doobie Brothers invited Bruce and his band to come to Richmond as guests and to join them on stage for the encore of Listen to the Music for a crowd of 20,000 plus. The opening act for that tour was Ambrosia, where Bruce first met Joe Puerta, later the bassist for The Range. Bruce credits Michael McDonald as being his discoverer, and his support was strong. He could be seen at Doobie Brothers performances, including on Johnny Carson, with a Bruce Hornsby Band t-shirt on TV. Bruce recorded a demo tape at Richmond's Alpha Audio in early 1979, sent it to Michael McDonald, and he and Molo spent 10 nights that February sleeping on Michael's floor. The demo tape ended up in the hands of departing Doobie brother Jeff Baxter. He got the offer of a deal from a label at that time, $40,000 up front, in exchange for half of his publishing rights. Bruce turned that down, preferring to take the chance and take a gamble on himself. Others turned down the tape, but he had people's attention in the music industry. Michael McDonald's advice had been to consider a move to Los Angeles, and in 1980, Bruce got a job offer and a move to LA as a staff songwriter for 20th Century Fox. Taking drummer John Molo, guitarist Steve Watson, and later his girlfriend Kathy with him, Bruce set himself a target, a record deal in 10 years or go home. He saw a lot of interest and a lot of near misses. In 1981, Lenny Waronker, the man who signed Prince and R.E.M., funded a demo for Bruce to make for Warner, and then declined. In 1982, Bruce joined Joe Puerta and Ambrosia, and can be seen in their How Can You Love Me video. But, Bruce says, "We were the opposite of success, and when I didn't get a record deal, they kicked me to the curb." There you go. That's 5 or 6 minutes of the upcoming documentary that we've been working on for a long time. I hope you enjoyed that. I'd like to thank Charlie Young for some of the photos of the cave, also Bobby Hornsby for some of the local knowledge as well. Chuck has actually seen it, Chuck with an H. Chuck won our contest, and I'll come on to that in a second. Chuck won our contest to get an early viewing of the documentary. He says you can't go wrong with it. It says the whole thing blew him away. So thank you, Chuck. I appreciate that. And Chris says that was great. Loved hearing the Fly on the Wall demo. That's done the rounds for some time. Bruce donated that to our very first Daily Dose Day. And when was that? Maybe 2006 or so. So I've kind of recycled it this time round here in 2022. So Chuck won a contest a few weeks back by completing the survey and I mentioned it last week that next week we're going to have another one. So anybody who can complete the survey on bruce.com, you'll go in the hat. If you've already done the survey, no need to do it again. Your name's still in the hat or the bowl, sitting over there, and it'll stay there. But anybody who can complete that survey on bruce.com, you'll be added to it. Chris says he has the MP3 of that, the daily. In fact, I don't even have the original Daily Dose Day files. I don't think I had that one still. But there are others as well that I think got lost in the great hard drive crash. But appreciate the feedback on that. Hope you enjoyed that one chapter that we've seen so far, or that you've seen so far. And I am crossing everything that it's a finished job. So yes, next week we'll have a draw, and we'll pick 2 names out of the bowl, and those 2 names can get an early sight of the full documentary. It's an hour and 40, the whole thing, and then the full thing will come out on Daily Dose Day. Thank you, Vic. Says you've outdone yourself. Great chronicles. So that's 5 minutes worth of the hour and 40. And thank you, Doug. Also, the Mike Post reference was for you, Doug. By the way, you asked if he was mentioned in it, not directly, but there was an advert where Bruce sat in with him. There's an incredible resource on the internet called newspapers.com. It's a subscription service, but that's where I managed to pull out a lot of documents, a lot of newspaper. I haven't got newspaper cuttings of Bruce's career. I'm not weird, but it's something I found online. There was a number of stuff going back to his college basketball. There was all sorts that I've been able to include in the documentary, and also photos as well. So Bobby Hornsby has given me a lot of photos. I don't have a framed photo of Anne Hornsby in my house. That was something that was given to me. So it's coming your way, the whole thing. That's as much as I'm going to share with people, except for our 2 winners next week. But coming your way in 3 weeks today, in fact. Scott says he's able to download the MP3 fly on the wall on the Daily Dose in the mid-2000s. Yeah, it's I don't know that it will ever see the light of day in a concert, unless I don't know that Bruce has necessarily kept it in his archives, but he donated it to us, and it's killing me. The name of the other one, I can't remember if it's in the documentary. It's so long since I touched it. There's another one, something to do with a mirror, I think. Oh, I don't know. What else for Daily Dose Day? I wanted to tell you a little bit about the 24-hour song project. So big developments on that, big news on that. We have some volunteers have stepped forward, and you guys have done your scouting as I asked you to, and have found people who are ready, willing, and able to help. So we've got ourselves some volunteers. One guy, and he doesn't want me to name him, so I'm going to respect that, has said that he feels comfortable saying he can transcribe any song we pick of Bruce's and play it and record it and have it back to us within the 24-hour turnover that we're looking for. It's going to be a lot tighter than 24 hours because obviously we need someone to sing as well, and we'll come on to that. And so he's based in Jakarta in Indonesia, and that's actually really helpful because of the time difference, frankly. So I can send him we're not going to do it. I don't want to release the thing at midnight, so we're going to have to start this 24-hour project like halfway through the day before or something, so I can release it halfway through Daily Dose Day. I should backtrack for a second, explain exactly what it is. We're crowdsourcing amongst all of us a song, and we're going to contribute and make decisions, whatever we have to do, to compile a song. Doesn't have to be perfect, far from it, but that can go on the cover project that's going to be released on Daily Dose Day. So we're going to pick a song. There's a vote going on at the minute on bruce.com. There are 4 songs that were favorites from either these discussions we've had online or the emails that have been sent to me, and the 4 were Cruise Control, Swing Street, you'll like that one, AJ, echolocation, and the new song Sidelines, which is a bit mischievous. So the idea was we could release one of Bruce's songs before he does. I suppose technically it's out as a single, but that was the thought behind it anyway. So you can vote on bruce.com on that song. What'll happen on the day, so the day before then, April 30th, I'll go to this guy in Jakarta and tell him which song we've picked. He won't know it. He doesn't know any of Bruce's songs, which will make it even more interesting, I think. So I will give him the song. He will then record it as a MIDI file, and then I'll tool around with it like I was doing a few weeks back. You saw me mess around. You can change the instruments and so on and so forth. So since there's a time difference, Indonesia is like 11 hours ahead of you guys on the East Coast. So he can work on it while you guys are in bed. So while it's midnight your time, it's 11 a.m. his time. So he can get to work on it and do what he needs to do. But he felt comfortable saying whatever we give him on the day. So I have feel like giving him a live version of whatever we pick. But whatever we give him, he says he can transcribe it and record it, play it and record it and send it to us. Then the job will be for a singer to... so the MIDI file, as you may have seen, is composed of different tracks of different instruments like drums, guitar, keyboard, bass, and one of the tracks is vocals. So we'll slot in her vocals in the song. So we can tool around with it on the day and maybe change the instruments or add sound effects or whatever, but the structure of the song will not change so that our vocalist can go ahead and do her stuff. I'm saying her because we have got someone in mind now. So Mark, a guy based here in the UK, has looked up his friend Louise, and I'm going to play you a little bit of her music so you can get an idea of what Louise does. She's a jazz singer. She's at college actually, but she's a jazz singer, musical theatre as well. And so this was the demo that Mark dug up and sent my way. So this is our vocalist who we've got lined up anyway.
And I wished you the best of all this world could give. And I told you when you left me, there's nothing to forgive. But I always thought you'd come back and tell me all you found was heartbreak and misery. It's hard for me to say I'm jealous of the way you're happy without me.
No, we're back with me now. Doug, I guess that's your seal of approval. I like her too. That's I don't know her last name. I should find that out. But Louise is ready to help. I've made it clear to our guy in Jakarta, he needs to get something to us pretty sharpish to give her time to give that turnaround in 24 hours. So he needs to be happy with what he sends us, and then she can do the vocals, and then we'll slide her vocals into whatever we end up with. It should be an interesting experiment, but that's Louise anyway. And watch me get hit with a copyright strike now for playing that. If that's a well-known song, I don't know it. But anyway, that's coming on May 1st as well. I may talk some more about that, but it looks as though we've got people lined up. I probably don't need anyone else because I don't want, just as a courtesy to everybody, I don't want to have maybe two people working on it. A, because the logistics would be impossible, and B, we might have to turn somebody down if somebody's is better than somebody else's kind of thing. So I don't want to do that. Really happy with what I've heard from the guy in Jakarta. Really like what I've heard from Louise. So it's all shaping up. It's all coming together. He says, Chris says, Fly on the Wall is recorded by Exile on the Shelter from the Night album. I'll have to look that up. That version I just played as part of the documentary, is that right? Don't be telling me things that I need to add to the documentary. But That's interesting. I'll look that up, Chris. Thank you for that piece of information. Here is my, if you're interested, I've started making a schedule of what could go on the Daily Dose Day, and then it turned into that, and it turned into that. So there's a lot of stuff to be planned, but we are getting there. I was going to talk to you about matched donations, and I'm going to leave that because I'm talking too much about donating money, and it's that today isn't about that. But maybe next week I'll spend a minute or two talking about matched donations, where your employer can double your donation if you're inclined to make one. So that's a good way to cost your employer money, takes care of their social responsibility, and benefits the charity too, benefits the ALS Association. And I'm losing my voice, so I will speed ahead with the very last part of today, which was the picture lyric game. Somebody find a better title than picture lyric game, would you please? Because that's not very good. So this didn't work when I tried it earlier on, so I don't know if it's going to now or not. There you go. You should be able to see. I nearly said the name of the song. So that depicts a Bruce song, consistent with my corny, pathetic jokes and humor, which all tie up to to give you a Bruce Hornsby song title. So which song does that refer to? In terms of the subject matter and the actual picture itself, you got it. Well done, Vic. And thank you, Jen. It is Hot House Ball. It's if you think that's bad, I almost didn't give you this one, but here goes. Which one is this? That's embroidery, by the way. So you're looking at some cross stitching. Yes, Chuck with an H. I'm afraid so. It is so out, because that's just blame it on my British way of thinking, I suppose. But yes, sew as in sewing, as in cross stitching, as in embroidery. That is so out. There's plenty more where this came from. I'm afraid you'll be getting a bunch of these on Daily Dose Day. A lot of you seem to be on my wavelength, so I don't know if that's good or bad. And the very last one, we've only got 3 for you this week. Which one's that? It's a really nice picture, by the way. I like it's kind of desaturated pictures. Which song is that? You know what? It's not what I had in mind, Chuck, although that is a field and it is indeed grey. And Scott, I wouldn't say, is wrong either. So this seems to be a common theme. It happens every week. You guys come up with an answer which is cleverer than what I had dreamed up. I'm going to say no to that one, Vic, since it isn't in a valley and it's not a road. but good try. Do you know what? I should get you guys to run this quiz, not me. It's not. I can't say it's not barren ground, because that's plainly a barren ground. The slightly more pathetic answer I had, which I'm also embarrassed to give you now, and probably I'll go as far as to call it the wrong answer, is Line in the Dust. Anyway, join us on May 1st for more of that nonsense. That wasn't. We finished the podcast as we began it, in a shambles. I will find what I'm going to do. So I don't know how I'm going to do this for the Daily Dose Day. I'm either going to, so I'm going to run a picture quiz like that, a picture lyric quiz, whatever we want to call it. You guys, I feel like, are getting the advantage on this, since you've done these before and know how my mind works, and you're better at it than I am. So you guys have got kind of the inside knowledge on that. I'm not unhappy about that. I wouldn't call it an unfair advantage, but I'm either going to give something like a week before, and then people can email their answers, or I'm going to do a live quiz on the day. I'm leaning towards the second. I think a live quiz would work well and break up the day quite nicely. And it's tentatively on my schedule, which I've mapped out by the hour there. I've been working on some graphics too, which I'll show you just before I'm done. So Daily Dose Day will look different. This won't look right, by the way, because I'm going to have two little displays on the screen at once, but something like that. Maybe not such garish colors, but that's how the day itself will look. And we'll have like a ticker with donations on, like we showed you last week. And we've got the clock here on the right-hand side. So there's plenty that I'm working on behind the scenes. And we got some great prizes, which I think I promised to tell you about this week. But I haven't knocked the webpage up yet. So I'm going to point you all to a webpage, hopefully this time next week. And I will tell you all about the prizes. It rhymes with concert tickets, but there's more to it. I'm quite excited by what we're putting together with some tremendous help from some of you and also from the ALS Association as well. So join us next week. That almost sounded professional, didn't it? Not quite though. Join us next week and we will pick 2 winners from that mixing bowl. I'm going to put everybody who's done the survey. The names will go in the bowl. If you've already done it, your name's already in it. Please don't do it twice or 3 times, which somebody did. Please complete the survey, and I'm going to report back on the survey on Daily Dose Day as well. But as you can tell, plenty going on for the day, and my head is kind of doing this on top of the day job, trying to plan what I hope will be a special day, and to end on a real positive, nearly $1,500 3 weeks ahead of schedule is special already. So thank you, those who've donated already. We'll keep it going. Vic, I detect your disapproval, and I can't say I disagree with it. Well, it's not Valley Road. It's better guess than Valley Road, frankly, to be blunt, because it wasn't a road or a valley. But I'll do better next week. Can't really do a lot worse. I'm going to play you out with Joshua Paxton. I had to second guess that. I have 2 Joshes in my head. Josh Dodis, who this isn't, who you're familiar with already, and Josh Paxton, who is this guy who did The Way It Is for us on, I believe, the Salivate CD, one of the cover projects. So we will be back this time next week. I would stay tangential if I could say it and if I knew what it meant, Chuck. But I appreciate the good wishes that I'm sure are therein. So stay safe, everybody. Appreciate your time. I enjoy these little laid back sessions for a Sunday evening as it is over here. Here comes Josh Paxton, and I will do better with the quiz next week. So thanks for joining us. Speak to you soon.